Elvis was never in the building. Yeah, I know this is going to confuse the algorithm of my film and streaming culture channel, but if you like the way we pick apart modern media and how we consume it, then please do me a solid and slam your thumb down on the thumb up button and subscribe, because trust me, this one still counts. Elvis still has cultural omnipresence in entertainment, so much so they sold me a ticket to this thing based on his name alone. Courtesy off the back of Baz Luhrmann's 2022 movie, which was great, they wanted to do something to cash in on people's renewed appetite for Elvis. And so we come to the hype versus reality. When they first announced Elvis Evolution back in January 2024, I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it, even when they gave us nothing but a pink poster.
It's very hard to live up to an image, I'll put it that way.
And vague text about immersive step back in time, walking Elvis's blue suede shoes. I thought, okay, maybe they're cooking up something special here. This sounded like secret cinema, which I'd always wanted to attend, but the right one had never come along. And this was actually going to be built right next door to the Friends Experience London, which I love and would massively recommend if you're a fan of that show. Despite this, the radio silence and 6-week pushback to my initial opening weekend ticket meant that I ended up joking about, despite the obviously high production budget, this might end up looking more like the Willy Wonka experience.
I beg your pardon?
I didn't know how right I was. Expectations set in. To Layered Reality's credit, they dialed back on the hologram talk. There was going to be no ABBA Voyage style motion capture here. Elvis, he's been dead for nearly 50 years after all.
Anyway.
But come on, Elvis is like one of the most photographed performers of all time. Over 30 feature films, reels of endless epic concert footage. If anyone's legacy is built for this kind of tech experiment, it's him. Instead, the week of my booking, I get a 2-page Word doc emailed to me. When the pre-show build-up comes with homework, it's never usually a good sign. It's basically preemptive damage control. It reads, Elvis has locked himself in his dressing room, petrified at the thought of going on stage for the first time in 7 years. Will he be able to perform? Okay, so now I'm thinking escape room or improv troupe. I wasn't actually far off on that second guess. The experience itself then. So the reality, it's been heavily critiqued as GCSE drama. Maybe A-level is a bit more generous. You've got 4 actors who are, that's all you get really, 3 of them playing up to 20 rapid-fire exposition roles, most of which you don't know or care about, in a weird, erratic order. No one's working harder than them. But in the nicest possible way, we didn't come for them. We came for Elvis. And he's kept hidden. Remember, locked himself in his dressing room.
Oh, sure.
The first room is the NBC backstage area. You're standing, you're watching this kind of pointless preamble. The decor is cool, but you aren't really given long enough to look at it. And once everyone's in, there's no room in there anyway. Then you have to fight your way for a seat on the train car benches. There's technically enough seats, but it's like any event when people don't really want to fill in the entire row at first. One mother who curiously brought a lot of kids to the Elvis experience was kicking off, asking for a refund in my showing time slot. She stormed out, but then came back, causing yet more disruption. And then another woman was fidgeting for the first 10 minutes, got up and loudly proclaimed to the man she was with, I told you it'd be, let's go and get a refund. They left, he came back. Honestly, at this early stage, the main thing letting the side down were the other people. And I could finally understand that story about the old man kicking off, getting escorted out, and shows for that afternoon being cancelled. I imagine the cast were upset because what can they do? The sound was not always great. The view, imagine an inverse IMAX screen, like a tiny little square of footage in a black letterbox. The ceiling was very low and there's lots of heads in front of you, so if you're not on the front row, it's not great. It evolves into a performance of sorts. Part of the stage area is on a travelator like an airport, probably to try and get around the column smack bang in the centre that no one can see through. A lot was then made of scent being used during the show, but I couldn't get a whiff of any of it. Then you're into the Blue Hawaii bar for the intermission. Again, not enough seats. 15 minutes to buy and down a drink. I had the bourbon one. I've had better. Finally, the comeback special. Not set in the round, which I thought would be such an obvious thing that they've fumbled here. The majority are funneled into a mosh pit, including yours truly, standing for about half an hour again. And the audience expectation for this show is just everywhere. In one room, you're expected to stand quietly. In the next, you sit quietly. Then suddenly, hey, you're in a social bar, but wait, we're back into a performance setting again. Sit down and shush. Finally, the big payoff room. Applause lights flash. Dance like it's the 60s. It doesn't feel earned. It feels forced. So, did Elvis ever arrive? Elvis himself? Barely. You get a 30-second AI-generated non-speaking medium shot in the comeback scene, teasing perhaps where this experience was originally meant to go. Then you're into just archive footage, which you've already got if you own the comeback special. That's it. Not much presence. Calling the experience Elvis feels wrong. That name carries weight. The 2022 movie earned it. The Elvis Evolution doesn't. On to the odds and ends then. So the Bob's Diner at the start, it looks the part, and obviously it has to be. It's the one bit that you can see publicly. It might actually be one of the best run components. The bars, I mean, it's probably like an intermission in any play, but there's as many bars in there as there is story, so you just feel a bit pummeled by it all. The gift shop was just a tiny corner on the way out. You've got Elvis glasses, novelty versions, more expensive sunglasses ones, t-shirts, hoodies, a 300-pound Steffi bear, lots of water bottles and, key rings, shot glasses. Nothing I really wanted to buy. I did buy a program for £15, and in the description for the show you can see how they must have attracted the investors into it. We designed an original show format where groups of 160 would move through a number of physical and digital environments on a time-traveling journey across America, through the musical spaces that shaped Elvis, from the intimacy of stepping inside his 1968 NBC dressing room with 159 other people, or childhood Mississippi church, right up to the electricity of being in the 68 special crowd. I mean, technically, yep, the room operates on electricity. Along the way, we created 3 food and beverage spaces that mark the journey. That's an interesting way of putting it. Including a Memphis after-party bar and a series of live musical performances. The show is rooted in a seamless blend of both live and digital storytelling, using state-of-the-art technology to transport our audiences and engage all the senses, everything from sound systems that recreate the acoustics of specific environments, travelators, haptic feedback to stimulate senses, and even immersive sense. They say in the FAQs, each show is limited to 160 people. That wording makes it sound small, right? When you're moving from room to room with 159 strangers, like an airport gate you never actually board, it doesn't seem limited. It seems overcrowded and often tense. That's another thing. They don't plan the exits very well, so you often have to double back on the path that you took to enter the room. Did I enjoy it? Maybe 15 minutes in the ending section, and that diner milkshake, peanut butter, honey, and banana, which, to be fair, might be because I paid £4 extra to add a shot to it. That's a rough ratio for my £75 immersive ticket, and my apologies if you've got a VIP ticket at twice the price and above. Fair enough, you will get to enter the rooms first and have dedicated seating, but is it worth the money? So if there's 160 people per time slot, estimating around 30 of VIPs, paying a minimum of £180 for the VIP ticket, I'd say you're looking at around £13,650 per time slot, and they're performing 10 time slots a day. This could be around £136,500 a day, 5 days a week for 6 months, and that doesn't include any of your food, your drink, unless you're a VIP, or merch. They could be taking £3.5 million without anyone ever having to cross the threshold. But they won't, because availability is looking pretty green, and this will be on some half price offers before you know it to take it down to a more reasonable amount. All that excess, and yet it feels like Elvis was never in the building, and more fool us for thinking he ever would be. I guess the spirit of Colonel Tom Parker got us again. I ended up coming home and watching the 2022 movie and was reminded what a good insight into Elvis looks like. I still hope Baz gets to release a longer version of it one day. That middle section really skips over a lot of stuff, which I think they probably filmed. But regardless, watch the movie. If you want an immersive experience, go to Graceland. That's next on my list. But as for Elvis's Evolution, take care of business elsewhere.
Oh.